Hello, and you are more than welcome back to Little Miss Drop Stitch on what is a very humid day in October. We had gone cold, we were hot in September, we went cold. I thought that was it, I'd vacuum packed all my summer clothes, and now we're quite warm again. I've had to get the kind of remotely summery thin jersey pants out, and I made a quilt. So today I'm going to be talking to you about 5 things I learned doing my very first quilt. Okay, so number 1 is keep it square. I found this was really beneficial. Obviously there's loads of lovely blocks, and I've done diamonds on an oven glove before, and I've cut out hexagons for a cushion or a hot water bottle, but that's got a Y seam on it, so no, honestly, keep it square, and it's beautiful. I love squares and rectangles, and if you want that kind of design element, I did the applique on the square. So now keeping it square really helped for both measuring and knowing how much, you know, fabric I was gonna have left and need and things, and yeah, it just kept it nice and simple, and there's absolutely no shame in it, whether it's your first or your 31st quilt. Number 2 is make the effort to iron. And I know it probably seems a bang on about this in my videos, but that's because I've been a sinner in the past, okay? And I'd use my fingers or just nothing, and that's when my garments were a bit rubbishy, and that's probably why I didn't make any for years. I thought it was because because I just wasn't very good at getting the fit or at sewing, but it was because I was rushing. I was using interfacing that was too thick, and I was cutting corners, not ironing. So why is iron important for this? Well, everything just lies nice and flat, which means there's less picking out, okay? And that's why I'm an advocate for ironing, only when it's necessary. But yeah, when it's necessary, it helps everything lie flat, okay? Because otherwise you're going to get your bulky seams. Same with the binding, that was all ironed beforehand, and I didn't use a single pin. Not that it's a prize or a competition for doing that, but yeah, you saved, even though it doesn't feel it. I've kind of got into the mind space of it does save me time in the long run because I'm not on picking. And yeah, no one likes to do that. So make the effort to iron. Number 3, okay, you don't have to do the official blocks, okay? I have wanted to quilt for quite a while, but what put me off was like all the serious quilters you see, you know, on Instagram, YouTube, TikTok, etc. Yeah, it does seem quite serious, and there's all these official blocks of the log cabin, the stargazer, flying geese. Yeah, and it really, I don't know if anyone else felt the same, like, no, it did really intimidate me. Like, I just want to make pretty country cottage things. So I did my own thing. I did applique on some of them. Some I did triangles. Not sure how well or how high I should be holding these up. Little squares. Okay, so yeah, just did my own thing, and look, nothing's bad's happened. I've not done any of the official blocks. I do think it is definitely a skill, and I think it looks difficult, and that's why it puts me off as well. And you chop things certain ways and whatever, and I just wanted to kind of be free, use the fabrics I got in as well. I didn't want to be tied to blocks for that. So yeah, you don't have to use the official blocks. You're still a quilter. Enjoy what you're doing. Number 4 is to use basting glue. This comes in the form of temporary or permanent. Okay, so for some of the applique I like that one. The little beehive of patches. So yeah, for that I started off, if you've seen it on the TikTok or the shorts or whatever, with a glue stick style basting glue. It was called basting glue, whether it's different to Pritt Stick, kids glue stick, I don't know. Maybe we'll have to try that one. But I got all the official stuff because I knew it wasn't going to leave kind of thickness, residue, anything like that. And my needle wouldn't gum as well. So that was kind of a Pritt Stick, but obviously with all this, it ran out quite quickly. So then I went on to basting spray, which is still a glue. So one's permanent, one's temporary. For the applique I used the temporary, and then I stitched them together a couple of days later, and it still was holding on. And then the permanent one, it's still same, spray it, but you heat set it with the iron. And that I did for the whole quilt, you know, putting the layers together. So the front to the wadding, then the wadding to the back. Used a full can, and I mean, this is a massive quilt. It was never meant to be this massive, excuse me. Yeah, good for the environment? Absolutely not. You know, with the can and things. So yeah, that's something to think about. Yeah, for my first one, it daunted me kind of pinning together and things like that. So, and yeah, who doesn't want to save time? So I love doing the patches, but then it was like, I'm at the end of this quilt, let's spray, get it together. So yeah, and that just meant I didn't have to worry about taking pins in and out and things. Yeah, I had a really good experience. I bought this myself, it's not sponsored or anything. It's the Crafter's Companion one, threaders. The basting pretty stick ones like a haberdasher's generic one. Number 5. Okay, I feel like how? It was a programme many years ago in the UK. So I'm just about old enough to remember it. So number 5 is a walking foot. Okay, I am usually a big advocate for getting, you know, all the official tools and things like that, because, you know, they're good, they work, they do a proper job. However, walking feet, I have a Genome sewing machine. 50 quid. So that it just wasn't an option. Like, I'm never going to use it enough. If I haven't used it enough, because you can use it for jersey and chiffons, which I have done, and it works, you know, beautifully. But then I'm kind of like, well, this does the job. I don't know how much better of a job getting an official 50 quid one would do. So yeah, this is a knockoff, whatever you want to call it. One off eBay. I think it was about 13 quid or something a few years ago. So there we go, I don't know why I'm playing with it so much. And it just, so what it does, it's got kind of some grippy bits and it traps your fabric. So you've got your normal feed dogs underneath and it's got kind of its own little feed dogs and that just glides it through. What's the point of that? Well, if you've got thick, heavy fabric like this, when we're putting it all together, it does sandwich the layers nicely so your fabric doesn't move, and also it prevents skip stitches as well. So there we go. I used that, very happy. I also use it for jersey, chiffons, things like that. The only bad thing, negative. So some, you know, the official quilting machines, you can have like a stitch in the ditch, which we'll talk about in another video, to help guide you for, you know, like the quilting lines on here. This doesn't allow that function. You can get a quilting bar, which is like a bar, and then you'd line it up with the next one, a bit like, you know, farmers doing the combine harvesting. But yeah, I couldn't stitch in the ditch with this, so when I did that, I just had to be careful. And in some places, it doesn't look terribly careful. And yeah, other than that, I used it on the binding as well. Walking foot. I hope you enjoyed the 5 things that I learned whilst doing my first quilt. We've got in the coming weeks Christmas dog bandanas, I do know that. So yeah, you enjoy your mix and take good care.